You're now tuned in to the Holly. You're now tuned into the Holly. You are now tuned in. You are now tuned in. You are now tuned in to the
Holly Favorite Podcast.
Alright guys, how's it going? We are here, episode 2 of the Holly Favorite Podcast, and I just want to first off ask everybody, how's your day going? For everybody that's watching on Facebook Live and everybody's watching on Instagram Live, thanks for tuning in. If you have feedback, of course, make sure you drop the message. If you actually want to be seen or heard on my Facebook Live, I am more than willing to bring you into the fold to talk about whatever topic that we're on. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the hottest topic of the weekend. Eminem dropped a surprise album. Nobody knew it was coming, and I like it personally. I mean, I'm an M fan. I didn't like his last album. I don't think it's something that he really put his best foot forward in as far as what I think his rapping ability and lyrical talents are. But this album here shows more of a little bit of the old M. It shows that he's current with the times, sees what's going on and things like that. And so I'm into it. So he dissed a slew of people, Trump, of course, and DJ Academics and Charlamagne the God, things like that. But I want to stick with on the musical side with the rappers. I want to stick with that. So, of course, everybody know he dissed Joe Budden, Lil Yachty. He took a shot at Drake, Machine Gun Kelly, Vince Staples, Tyler the Creator. Like, he had a long list of people that he verbally attacked on this album throughout. And I think the main feedback that people wanted to hear is they want to hear something back from Joe Budden. And, I mean, understandably so, of the list of people he named, probably outside of Tyler the Creator, who I think has some talent, but I don't think he's on Joe's level. Everybody think that Joe is probably the only one on the list of names of people he actually name dropped, can actually, spar with him or go toe-to-toe with him in a battle. Joe did respond, not with a diss or anything, but he was pretty much trying to keep his distance as far as saying, like, he's not looking to drop anything, in response to it. He's not really looking to be back in the booth, so to speak. But what do you guys think? I mean, the only person that responded so far is Machine Gun Kelly, and I like the Machine Gun Kelly diss. I think it's actually really good. It's not like outstanding, it's not super lyrical. He pretty much bigged up M 55 times throughout the diss, and then still found a way to go back and talk bad about him. I wouldn't have did that. Like, I wouldn't have been one to keep saying, like, yeah, you one of the GOATs, or yeah, you the GOAT, and then go back and then try to backhand and say all this crazy stuff. I just would have continued to try to degrade your character and slaughter you. It's one of those things. So, it was weird. It was good, in my opinion. It was good. I mean, a lot of people were like, oh, a lot of people, one, they saying the latest Eminem, the Kamikaze album, is trash, and I don't think so. I don't think it's trash. Everybody's entitled to that opinion. Of course, that's why it's music. But at the same time, I also don't think the Machine Gun Kelly diss was trash, and a lot of people were saying it was trash. I don't know what people look for in disses these days anymore, depending on what you're used to. If you watch battle rap, like the smacks and all that stuff like that, a lot of that stuff isn't really portrayed on within battles of these artists' caliber for the most part. There's not a lot of that type of battle rap. A lot of people don't even look. They're not even looking for the response. They just want to hear things personal about the other people that you probably didn't know, or something that we already knew. You could find another way to twist it and make funny. So it kind of weirds me out, because do you want Machine Gun Kelly to say things like he'll have a gun with an extended clip and all this other stuff and shoot Eminem? I don't know what you want to hear from artists like that. Even when M disses people back when he was really, really getting in his bag, what did you want from it? When he became mainstream, I'm not talking about his battle rap days. I'm saying when he became mainstream, he was pretty vulgar in a lot of things that he said, but it still kind of swayed the line of a lot of things that he talked about. It wasn't too in depth like as far as like battle rapping goes. It was more. Of course, it was more in tune. There was always a beat and things like that. With these on stage battle raps, a lot of that is most all of it from what I've seen. There's no beat, so you can take your time. You can pace your bars. You can wait for a response back from the crowd. You can go back and repeat stuff because everybody was too loud and all that stuff like that. So crowd reaction plays a big part in that as well. And so I'm guessing crowd reaction plays a big part in this response from Machine Gun Kelly and the Kamikaze album from Eminem. I guess what's the main perception of the public now. The majority people who are talking about it are saying that they like the album. Of course, the majority of those are Eminem fans or probably diehard M fans. Would never say nothing he does is trash. But at the same time, who's gonna be like an unbiased opinion? Like I'm an M fan, but I'm very unbiased in how I judge his music. Like if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. If I think a song is good, I think a song is good. If I don't, I don't. If I have a reason why, certain things I think is good that other people don't, most of the time I can tell you why. I can go into it and say, hey, this is why I don't like this song, or this is why I do like this song, because he said X, Y, and Z. If you listen to this, or the bar structure, or the wordplay, because those who know me, I rap too. So there's certain other things that I listen to that probably the casual fan won't. Again, I'm like casual fans are different than hardcore fans. It's a complete different. There are hardcore fans who can't rap but understand rap and can break down bars and things like that. There are the casual fans who always go beat first, hook, then lyrics. So they break it down a little bit different. And once you start to understand where you fall at, you understand how much sometimes people are like, well, your opinion don't matter because you're not even really a fan or you're not a hardcore fan of hip hop. You're just a casual fan of music or whatever the case may be. So people start to not really judge your opinion, or it doesn't really hold that much weight. But as far as the Eminem Kamikaze album goes, I like it. I think it's good. I think it's, it doesn't erase his last album, but it does put him back in a better stance in the public perception, especially of people who were actually fans who didn't really appreciate the last album. It was I don't know, it was so far to the wrong side of the spectrum. But with Machine Gun Kelly, it was a lot of other things going on. On that same day, G-Eazy dropped a diss record. I believe Friday. Friday was the 31st. So yeah, I think on the same day, G-Eazy even dropped this record, and I don't even think it was planned that way, but it ended up being that way because he did add it into his disc. So either he just wrote it that day and dropped it, and it just ended up panning out and working that way. But G-Eazy and Machine Gun Kelly, which y'all probably don't really care about. Again, the casual fan, probably not even the hardcore fan, because y'all probably don't even listen to these two artists. But I personally like G-Eazy. I don't listen to Machine Gun Kelly at all. I think he had like one song that I listened to that I like that I would actually like add to a playlist. But and that's not saying that he's bad. It's just like his music really wasn't for me. But G-Eazy, I like G-Eazy. Like I listened to G-Eazy. His album was really good. He does dope singles. His features are really good, and the disc that he put out towards Machine Gun Kelly was good. It was really good in my opinion. Like I really liked it. I was like, I didn't think that he was that type of rapper to be trying to diss somebody. And their feud comes from something like is normal. They were, when G-Eazy came out, was coming up, Machine Gun Kelly said that G-Eazy was still in his flow or still in his style and trying to steal his lane in hip hop. So he was trying to steal Machine Gun Kelly's lane in hip hop and take it over. And G-Eazy was like, why would I do that? Machine Gun Kelly, like, you're pretty much, trying to be like a rapping rock star or whatever. It doesn't make any sense. But when you guys get a chance, just stemming from beef after beef, and then there's amongst, it's not against your with your typical rappers. You know, these are all three. These are three white rappers who are, I wouldn't say probably like dominating their lane, but they're at the top of their lanes as far as white rappers go. You might want to check it out. You know, some good stuff. Check out the Kamikaze album. If you think it's trash, tell me it's trash. If it's not, it's not. Um, Machine Gun Kelly. If you're gonna go listen to him, go listen. I don't listen to Machine Gun Kelly, but check out the G-Eazy stuff. I like it, you know. And check out the G-Eazy diss to Machine Gun Kelly is called Bad Boy, and he's speaking some stuff in there, and you be like, okay, wow, he actually got some flow. I just like G-Eazy flow too, like his cadence on the track is always pretty good to me. I like it. But also Eminem addressed briefly. He touched on like the Drake ghostwriting rumors and things like that. Quick diss. It was a little quick jab, and he kept it moving. Nothing too intricate. He ain't elaborate more on it. Like he actually knew something. It was more from like the outside in looking thing. He just take a quick little jab at you and kept it moving. G-Eazy then this Machine Gun Kelly. Then Machine Gun Kelly goes on Funk Flex, drops a freestyle, was so trash. And that brings it back full circle for me, because I liked his diss towards Eminem, and then he came with another freestyle right after that, and I was like, man, this is it's garbage. Like I couldn't get with it. You know, he rapped over the Block Boy beat, the Look Alive one, I believe that was the track he rapped over. It was just bad. I was like, man, this is horrible. I can't really, you know. He was on Funk Flex Radio and trying to pipe him up, and then it was over after that. But you know, I don't know. But speaking of radio, since we still here, Nicki Minaj, of course, is going to be continually doing her Queen Radio, and she had Tyga on there. She called him. It was a little phone conference, and you know, she brought up Fast. Like she's trying to get into the lane of like, I don't know. She's really getting a little personal with a lot of things. Like her first question, she jumped up and she was like, "So do you miss Kylie?" And I was like, "Whoa!" That was like right at him. Like, "Do you miss Kylie?" And you pretty much like, you know, push it off. It's like, nah, she's doing her thing and all that stuff like that. But then she asked, you know, how do you feel about like her success now? Do you feel like you had a part of that? And he was like, well, yeah, I did. He didn't say like I feel like or like kinda. He was like, well, I did. You know, when we were together, I was the one telling her, you know, you should start wearing your hair like this. You should start acting like this. You should start dressing like this and all that type of stuff. You got to do more to start branding yourself and all that. So he's trying to say like he put that battery in her back, to pretty much become a billionaire. Like that's it. He was trying to, and he was like, I don't want anybody to go to like the blogs and say that you know, it's on me and all this stuff. Like, you know, and I'm like, dude, do you really, really, really not know who our sister is? Like, you think that it was all, like, you had a huge influence into that? Like, really?
Really, nigga?
Like, really?
Really, nigga?
Alright, so it's like, I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Like, I could be wrong. I could be seeing it from a weird spot. Like, do you think that Tyga had any influence on Kylie's success? Not on her just period as a person, but like on her success. Like, it has nothing to do with like everything that her mom did. It has nothing to do with how her sister Kim set her up for the future and things like that. And she just happened to use her following and her awareness to create a brand that's pretty much bigger than anything that their family did as a whole so far, in a short span of time. But it is like, what do you guys think? Do you think that Tyga holds some weight in her success? I don't. He can get out of here with that shit. But I had somebody on, just backtracking to the M thing. I had somebody on my IG live saying that they don't think that Eminem adapted to the current landscape of music. They didn't say it like that, but that's how I'm rewording it. I'm paraphrasing his quote, so to speak. I don't know. Like, what does that mean to someone when they say that? Like, they haven't adapted to the music currently today. Now, especially with an older artist, there's like, you know, artists like Jay-Z did it and Fab's done it and things like that. And I'm thinking like, I don't know if I can really say that M hasn't adapted. Like, what do you want him to do? Like, do you want him to start like rapping on trap beats? Like, do you want him to start uh getting on songs with some of the younger artists? Like, I don't understand what that means as far as an artist of his caliber and his ilk, from where he came from in his timeline. Not everybody's willing to take the leap, I guess, into what we call the future of music. Not everyone's willing to look at it like, this is something I need to do to stay relevant. M will probably always be able to out rap 90%, 95% of whatever rappers come through, probably for the, even now, probably for the next decade. You know, I don't think he has a replacement. I hold, Jay in that regard as well. And a lot of the older hip hop artists. But what does adapting mean now for an older act? Like, how do you adapt? Because what happens is, if he adapts to what I'm assuming a lot of people mean when they say that, if he starts doing a lot of things on these traps and trap songs and trap beats, and I can't see Eminem on a track with the Migos, and they're probably end up coming out dope. You never know. But what's going to happen is, you'll have older fans saying, damn, M is really washed because now he got to do X, Y, and Z with these new guys to try to get a buzz. And then we'll have a lot of the younger era or the latest era, like, get your old ass out of here. We don't want to see you on a track with Uzi. We don't want to hear your rapping ass on a track with Yachty, or your rapping ass on a track with Pump. So, it's not really, to me, I don't think it's really about adapting. I think it's more about, like, sometimes you just don't fit in that mold. Like, you shouldn't be there, like, you really shouldn't be there. Like, honestly, and I used to think that, even about Jay-Z, I used to think like, I never wanted to see him on any track with any of these latest artists, and he ended up getting on a track with Future, and it came out okay. Like, it came out pretty good. I wasn't against it. The song was good. Future really only did the hook, so I wasn't that mad. I couldn't be like, all right, I don't want to, so it was one of those things that's like, all right, but then they did it again, and it was a far decline from the first one they did, and I was like, this is why I didn't want to see it. But granted, it's a DJ Khaled thing. He likes to put people together like that, but it's something I really didn't want to see because I didn't think it was always going to be well. For the long term, for longevity, Jay always finds a way to keep his name in the mix of things musically, but at the same time, it's like, do you want to hear Jay-Z on a track with Lil Pump? Do you want to hear Jay-Z on a track with Lil Yachty? We do want to hear Jay-Z on tracks with Kendrick and J. Cole and Drake and Big Sean and artists like that. Meek. We do want to hear Jay-Z on tracks like that, but those guys are more than likely going to stand the test of time versus these other guys that are getting recycled every 2-3 years, which is why they're trying to get big upfront deals and keeping it moving. So if that's adapting, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see an artist adapt to the time if they're not part of that time. Let the new time come in, and if you can play through it, so to speak, like if it was basketball and you can play from the end of one era into the middle of another era or something like that, cool. But at some point you're going to fizzle out. Like, you're not going to be able to keep up with all the influx of new things coming in, especially if you're not going to start doing what they're doing. If you're not going to start changing how you dress or changing how you present yourself to the public as far as being flashy, if you're not going to over auto-tune yourself or try to do a lot of melodies and things like that, if you're not going to do that because it doesn't fit your timeline, it doesn't fit who you are, especially original. If you got if you're 10 projects in and you've never done it, don't do it. If you do it, keep it for yourself. It's personal, so you can say, oh, I did this before, I could have dropped all of these, but I didn't. Save that for when you're really retired or something, or let your family have that estate, and then if you pass, Lord willing, then you like, hey, and you will release all that old music, make some money off of it. Do that. Like, don't do it now and start taking away who you are as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't take those things away. That's the type of stuff that I don't want to see people lose who they are in timeline. So don't adapt. If you can't adapt, if adapting is for you to switch so far to the opposite side of the spectrum of what had you create music, don't stay who you are. Like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see anybody really switching. So, moving on, another big thing over the weekend and the past week or whatever like that was the whole Ariana Grande groping incident with the pastor at the church with the at the funeral for Aretha, and I'm like, do I really care about this? And in my mind, in the back of my mind, in the front of my just period, I'm like, I don't really care about it, because it might not have been anything if she was just an average person. And that's where my mentality goes a lot. Like, if this was an average person, he probably done put his arm around 600 women in that church like that, and no one probably said a thing. I'm pretty sure there's other videos and photos and all that type of stuff like that. But as soon as someone high profile comes on, everything changes. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Was the pastor really? Now, he did come out and apologize, for the groping incident. He did come out and say something, but I think there was more of like a something he had to do to keep his image. It was a public statement he had to make, and I'm not going to say that he wasn't wrong. I'm just going to say that I don't care about it, because he might have actually, in his mind, been getting his feels off. But then at the same time, he probably just wasn't. He probably just was trying to make sure she stayed, like, part of what he was saying. I didn't, I've always seen the clips. I like to do things, and I like to watch the video, especially when something is going on. I like to watch the videos without the sound, so that way I can look and see what it can be perceived as without the lyrical content, unless it's like an argument or something. They weren't arguing. He was on stage. He was preaching. So I don't need to hear that to see the action of what was going on. So I didn't. Most of the time I just watched the video in loop, just looking at his actions, his intent, his face, his body language, and things like that, versus Ariana's body language. She looked so uncomfortable, and I guess that's the main thing. The main thing is probably because she looked uncomfortable. Now it's an issue, because her face, her body language was kind of like pulling away, and he was kind of like pulling her in. So I don't know. I don't care about it, but if you care about it, if it's something that's like, oh man, like, nah, he was wrong, and let me know. I mean, it's there. We already know the problems we done had with men of the cloth doing some unforgivable things to women, children, etc., etc. We already know there's a long line of that stuff. So it's a little off. But if the Ariana Grande thing really got under your skin, and you think that like it was so wrong and he was so wrong, tell me about it. Let me know. Like, I'm not on the fence. I don't care about it as much. I'm only bringing it up because it was such a big topic over the past weekend, that I gotta make it content. Content is content. I need to see what the public is perceiving things as these days, or how far we are in the spectrum of what's so wrong versus what's so right. Where's the gray area? All of those things, those are becoming the biggest topics of conversation, because people don't know, or like there are people like me with some things I don't care about, and then there are people who go to bat for this stuff, and they're like, no, this is wrong, and it's this, that, and the third, and he should this and that. So it's a lot that goes on there that I want to be more in tune with the mind states of public perception of what's going on and what are people thinking about when they're out here. So let me know how you guys feel about the whole Ariana Grande pastor groping incident. You can put it in the comments and things like that once I drop the episode. So moving on from that, one of the craziest things too that happened over the past week, it's not crazy, something that just was said, well, it is crazy. Cardi B is now saying that it's going to cost $300,000 for her to perform. $300,000. And I'm pretty sure somebody's going to pay it. I'm pretty sure. I like someone's going to pay her $300,000 to perform, and I don't even know where these performances are going to be. I don't know. So who like I don't know if she warrants that type of money. I don't know if her fans pay that type of money. As far as like, that's a major arena. That's a very steep ticket price. Um so I don't know. I don't know if she herself, as far as an artist, is worth that. Like I can't really I can't picture it. That's like, you know, I feel like Beyonce and Jay and them are in like the half a mil, the 250,000, half a mil range, if not more, depending on the venue, event, how long, things like that. I feel like they're in that mode. If you're Cardi B and you're telling me that your price range is near where Beyonce's is, if it's near where Jay's is, if it's near where Drake's is, if it's near where J. Cole's is, Kendrick, I can't agree with that. Like I can't agree with you. I mean, I'm cool with people setting their worth or saying what they're worth or what they feel they're worth and projecting or putting things out to the universe or things like that. I'm cool with that. What I'm saying is just looking at the landscape of music, 300,000 for a performance is a top tier artist, like top tier. And I don't think she's a top tier artist. We're talking about the overall grand scheme of things. I think that she is at the top of her class, if we want to break it down like that. I think she's, at the top of the class there, but I don't think she's a top tier artist. I don't think she's $300,000 worth of tickets. Like I gotta do the math. I gotta find I gotta see like what arena, how many people it holds, the average price of a ticket, how much of the nosebleeds versus the front row versus the VIP versus the press pass versus the backstage pass. I gotta look at that stuff. How many are available? There's a lot of math that goes into it, but that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and I don't even know. I don't know if Cardi B is selling out arenas yet. She might sell out something in New York, maybe Philly, maybe DC. I don't know if she's selling out, she can go and sell out the Staples. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if she can sell out Madison Square Garden. Like things like that matter. That's $300,000 to get you to come out and perform, and I don't know if you are selling out that. Now you plus somebody like you and the Migos and maybe somebody else, like if y'all do like a three-headed monster type of tour, then yeah, you might be able to get 300K because you'll be headlining. Or would you be headlining? Like, is she bigger than is Cardi B bigger than the Migos? I don't know. Like, that's something else to be looked at, So I don't know. $300,000 is ridiculous in my opinion for Cardi B to be saying that's how much she should be getting per performance, and she said it because it's going to take her away from being with her new baby, Culture. And that's sweet and all. It's like, oh, that's so cute. You got to pay me to get away from my baby, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, come on, you're not the only entertainer with a kid. I understand your sentiments and I understand how you feel as a new mom. But also, don't price yourself out of work. That's how I feel. I feel like you're going to price yourself out of a lot of opportunities and a lot of work. Now, you can set the bar high. Maybe you're bargaining with people and they're shooting low and you're meeting somewhere in 100,000 under 200,000 range, 100, 150. ish. I believe I believe she can get about half of what she actually was asking. I believe she's worth about half of what she was already asking for. That's not a bad thing. Based on her numbers, and again, we're talking about past numbers. She doesn't have any new music out right now. I don't know if she has anything coming. She's not on the tour with Bruno Mars that she was going to be on because she had health concerns and she just had a baby and stuff like that. So those are understandable things, but it also takes away from her fan base. It takes away from people who care about who she is because a lot of people will argue that half of her fan base came from younger females, for one, who really couldn't fall into the mold of hardcore Nicki Minaj fans. But then it also came from a lot of females who were missing Nicki Minaj because he took that hiatus away from putting out bodies of work. So you're dropping singles and feature here and there, but from putting out bodies of work. And we live in the microwave era where it's fast now. What's now? What have you done for me lately? I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. So that kind of fizzled out Nicki in that sense. Cardi comes out and she hit the ground and she's running. She's gone. And so they latch on. So now all of a sudden people are saying, "Oh, she's better than Nicki," and this that, and the third because she's a hot thing. She's she's the train on the track right now, and that's cool. But at the same time, that doesn't make your talent better. It doesn't make people stick around because all the public need is another hot female to come around, and now you're in this three-way split trying to figure it all out. I mean, because I'm looking at like this, the timeline of things that happen. Remy comes home from prison. Remy and Nicki Minaj beef. Remy dropped a couple songs. She did an album with Fat Joe, which I do not like. She did a couple other songs, which I have a thing where I'm not really a big fan of Remy Ma's flow. I believe she can rap. She has some good content. Her lyrics are okay, but I don't really like her overall flow. So I don't really gravitate to her music that much. But anyway, she dropped a couple songs. None of them hit. In my opinion, from my view as a music consumer, none of those songs hit. She had the one hit, her Fat Joe. They remixed it with Jay-Z. That was the last one that I can remember. That was the last one that I can remember from that. Just getting my ID live back up and running. They cut you off after a while. So you have, so back to the timeline. Remy comes home from prison. Her and Nicki has a little beef, blah, blah, blah. They going through all this stuff. Cardi starts bubbling a little more. And now her and Nicki got this invisible beef. Like, we all know it's there. People keep talking about it. People keep hinting to it. All the media platforms are like Nicki versus Cardi. Remy Ma started to phase out more. She's on Love and Hip Hop. Still speaking of Remy, she's on Love and Hip Hop. She's on a couple of things, going through some health things. Takes a fall back. Supposed to be working on the album now, and all this, whatever else is going on with her. And now she's going to be doing a show with Joe Budden, somebody else, on Revolt, the State of the Culture thing. So that's a good look for her. That's cool. But what is the grand scheme of things? Remy home, beef with Nicki. Then Cardi comes, beef with Nicki. Now, what's next? The next female that tried to come up and starts getting a little bit of buzz, who is she going to beef with? Because if the next person to beef with again is Nicki, then I'm like, okay. Granted, Nicki's been a bully her entire career. She's also been the only one in her lane for majority of it because talent-wise, a lot of the females that can do it either weren't being signed and put out there to the forefront, or a lot of the females really don't have it. Only having sex appeal is one part of keeping a fan base. The sex appeal aspect gets the females to look up to you. Some of them, the younger ones, especially the younger ones, I want to be like or I want to look like. And then the music keeps the ones who are more mature, but the music also pulls the guys in to like you as far as the music, because you could be a super sexy female rapper who can't really rap, who's super trash, but you look good. They'll follow you on Instagram. You'll have a lot of following because you look good, and people just like looking at pictures and double tapping on the pictures and things like that. But it doesn't make them a buyer or a consumer of your music. So that's the slope that a lot of female artists get caught in. Like, how do I want to be perceived as an artist? So if the next female artist that ends up getting a lot of shine comes out and comes forward, who does she beef with to get on? I mean, I'm not saying she has to, but it always ends up happening. Somebody versus somebody, or she's trying to be like this, or she's trying to take such and such as limelight. If the next person try to beef with Nicki, then it's like, come on now. Now everybody just trying to. Of course, she's at the top, but Cardi's in the top running now. Is somebody gonna beef with Cardi? Is somebody gonna take a shot at Remy, who seems to not be rapping, in my opinion, right now? I'm not checking for it, so I don't know. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, just correct me. But who's next? Who's next? And I like hearing female artists who can rap. I really like hearing female artists who can rap, and I listen to a lot of female artists. I swear, I sit down and I listen to their music. I listen to a whole body of work, and when I'm done, I'll be like, that was trash. And part of it might be because I can't relate to a lot of the things that they're talking about. I'm a male, they're a female, so their views in the world is different. Their look at things is different. Some of them are always talking about like a lot of over sexual things, and it's not too much rapping going on. Like, for example, like I like Young M.A. I think she can rap her ass off. I don't think it's too many females that can out rap her. Same thing with Rhapsody. I don't think there's any female that's at the top of the game right now can out rap Rhapsody. But it still comes back to that marketing appeal and things like that. What am I see? I check for the content. So I'm listening to the content and I'm like, this music is great. It's awesome. A lot of people are like, I'm not really checking for that. What she rapping about? Oh, she too hard, or whatever the case may be. I'm listening to the content, how you structuring your bars, your lyrical prowess. I'm listening to those things, but those aren't the things that really sell in hip hop for women. I mean, it's barely selling in hip hop for men right now. Being lyrical and having content. Granted, the people who are at the top of the pedestal in hip hop right now, the younger ilk, or the late 20s, early 30s, and all that, they can rap. They have lyrical skills and things like that. Granted, good, but at the same time, it's 30 other people, 40, 50 other rappers underneath them that's hitting billboards and things like that that don't have that. So, yeah, it's quality over quantity, but quantity is getting a lot of the money fast, and they're soaking it all in. So, just saying that, going wrapping it all back around to the whole Cardi B thing. Who's going to be next? Like $300,000 isn't worth it. And as soon as there's another hot female rapper coming up, your price goes down, because the same way we hop from Uzi to Yachty to Juice WRLD. Granted, Juice WRLD can really rap, but his music he portrays puts him in that category. We hop around as far as the current music landscape. We hop around to the next hottest thing, and since a lot of it sounds alike, or a lot of the content's the same, we tend to just move on to the next person and leave the other one back in the wind, because it's like, why would I listen to 4 people who sound exactly the same when I could just find who's ever making the best songs right now and stick with that? So that's what I think is going to end up happening with this whole Cardi thing. She needs to be putting out more music now. It's kind of fizzling, in my opinion. I don't know what the charts look like. I don't know what the numbers look like. I don't know what she's doing overseas with her, with her songs with what's his name, Bad Bunny or whatever. I don't know any of that. What I'm saying is, from my view, looking in from the outside looking in, her time's gonna come too, just like Nicki time came. Nicki just had a lot of time. I don't think Cardi has as much. She's not going to be afforded as much time as Nicki had to have that seat by herself. So if she can get 300K, get it now. I don't think she can get it now. So, it's not something I can agree with. We had the Made in America event here in Philly this past weekend. And on the last podcast, I talked about the fact that 6ix9ine was going to be there. I didn't see any videos, anything about it. I didn't see a lot of like my friends on my social media platforms who went. I haven't seen any videos from it, from them directly being there, so I couldn't really get a good feedback. I heard that he had the place lit as usual. Now I did say that he's a great performer. His charisma is good. He can't rap. I just want to know what the response was. The overall response was. If he did good, he did good. I commend him for that. Like, it is what it is. The only thing I did see recently or posted about the Made in America is Nicki Minaj going on stage and she had a Janet Jackson moment. That's the only big news that was circulating the most. So that's pretty much it that I know about the Made in America event here in Philly this past weekend, is that Nicki Minaj titty popped out. There's nothing besides that. I don't know what else went on, like, I'm glad, I didn't hear any incidents. Everyone's safe and there was no violence. And, cause Philly could be a very, very rough city when we're put in large groups like that, cause that's a very, very, very large crowd of people to be outside, in the heat and things like that. And so I'm glad that passed. And I'm glad that it was actually approved and it got done. It is a good look for the city. So shout out to Jay and Live Nation and all them for getting that stuff together. And I'm with it. So let's see. What else happened? You guys heard about I'm pretty sure, that whole Drake and Odell Beckham at the club where Kourtney Kardashian's ex-boyfriend beat some guy up around back. The crazy thing about it now is that some other person that was there is suing Drake and Odell Beckham. I don't know exactly what for, but he's suing them, and I'm looking like, well, are you the guy who got punched in the face? I don't understand. They're trying to they're saying they're trying to say somebody was the bodyguard, blah, whatever the case may be. I'm just trying to figure out the actual logistics of what he's suing for, because the guy that got beat up, from my understanding, is a popular Instagram model's Summer Rae. It's her boyfriend. And what happened was they were in the club. The girlfriend, Summer, was in, I guess, the VIP section or whatever, talking with Odell. So then the boyfriend goes or tries to go into that section to get his girlfriend, and then then it became an entire issue. Kourtney Kardashian's ex-boyfriend, Giannis, I don't really know if I'm pronouncing his name right. They end up going outside. They were arguing. They end up taking it outside. They fight. The guy, Summer, said his name is Bennett, which I don't believe. I think it was just a whole little sway thing just to get the paparazzi out of her face, because my name is Bennett and I ain't in it. But if his name really is Bennett, his name is Bennett. And he went to press charges at first, but then I heard he dropped the case. It's just one of those things where it's like, sometimes you get beat up. It's one of them things, like, stop suing every celebrity you get into a fight with because you got beat up. Like, what do you want them to do? You expect to, you want them to lose so you can be like, oh, I beat up X, Y, and Z person? Like, cut it out. Come on. And then you're fighting with somebody who's not even really a celebrity. You're fighting with just another guy who was there, and the speculation now is that like he might have been like bodyguard for the night or whatever the case may be, or he could have just been the one, like he could have been getting into it with Odell, and Odell was like, yeah, he just got paid, so he ain't really trying to get in that situation. And he like, y'all just probably like, I take care of it, you know what I'm saying, on the strength, whatever the case may be. Who knows? But some other guy who was just around, I don't even think he got hit or anything, is suing, and I just need to see what he's suing for. So that's crazy. That's crazy in itself. I'm like, So I don't know who's to blame for stuff like that. Like, who do you blame? I blame Summer. That's who I blame. I blame Summer Rae for having her ass up in that VIP with Odell Beckham and Drake when she was there with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend wasn't up in VIP with her. That's very thought-like behavior. I don't care what anybody says. They could have been talking business. They could have been talking. I don't know if she's talking to Odell about business for. He plays football. I see if she was like talking to Drake, I can really be like, oh, maybe he was like, you can be in my next video. You can kind of sway it a little bit. But talking to Odell, it just seemed like you on some like, you just being a groupie kind of. It's like, hey, Odell, congratulations on all the money you just got. My boyfriend's right over there, but fuck him. Like, I don't get it. Like, the average woman, if she did that in the club, they'll do the snap too. Like, they'll do to be like, yo, what the fuck is you doing? Like, I don't care who buddy it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna roll up in VIP, leave me down here with the regular people, and then be up there all chatty patty, and then when I come to get you and say, come on, let's go, whatever the case may be, you don't want to leave. And maybe she did want to leave, or maybe he just got a little hostile trying to get in there, and or maybe she was like, hold on, babe, I'm talking real quick, and then he was like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care that you're talking, let's go. And I don't know. I can speculate this all day, and just going from the average response from, how I've seen women interact over my lifetime so far, there's no way in hell that the average woman wouldn't be like, oh, she's a thought. She was up there doing or saying some things she shouldn't have been doing, and her boyfriend was there. Oh, she's bold. So that's what I see. That's the look that I get from all of that. So that's crazy in itself, man. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's wild. That's super duper wild. And I wanted he got his ass whipped for I guess trying to protect his own pride at this point. That's crazy. It is what it is. But I don't know. That is what it is. Stop. I just want to know what the other guy's suing for. It's random. He's not the guy who got beat up, and he's suing. But moving forward from that, I'm going to close out the podcast on a very, very good note. So Nike, they already backed Serena with the whole catsuit incident, and they didn't want her wearing the catsuit, and they put out their ad backing her. Now, they also have Colin Kaepernick as the face of another one of their campaigns, and I think that is a super dope idea. I love the fact that Nike is standing behind these athletes who are having some very controversial social views and hammering down on social injustice, especially in the black community. It's amazing to me that a company that large is taking a stance like this. I mean, I'm not going to say like they might take a dip in sales, but then again, they might not. They might pull over people who only wore Reebok for whatever. Like, you never know. But I think that it's a grandstand. I love them for doing what they're doing. The one image I keep seeing going around is the one of Kaepernick's face, and they're saying, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. That's really a bold statement, because of course that's exactly what he did, and he's taking a huge loss. He took a huge financial loss. He took a loss to his career, which I think he can still actively play, even if not a starter, a backup, a second, even a third string on somebody's team. So he's definitely blackballed out, along with a few other athletes, probably a couple that are not big names, so we don't really care about, but it's taken, it's made football a place of discussion all the time for views of on social injustice. And then they're still back in Serena. There's a new billboard that I seen. I just seen it yesterday or today. It was like girls from Compton don't play tennis. They dominate it or they own it, something like that. And that's a great, that's a bold stance too, because that's all she's done in her career. I saw a stat that was like of the 20 number one ranked tennis players or something like that in the past 10 years or 16 or whatever, of the past 20 number one ranked tennis players, Serena has beat 16 of those number one ranked tennis players. And then the other 4 retired before they ever played. They retired before her time or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, that's an amazing stat line to have, that I literally beat every number one ranked tennis player in my career that ever went through. If it wasn't me, I beat them and it ended up being me. So that's a bold stance too. So anyway, man, we're gonna close this out with that. Shout outs to Nike, man, for just standing up for something that a lot of other major brands are seemingly afraid to stand up and do, just for the benefit of the bottom line, and that's sales. So shout out to them for doing that. I really applaud them. And I'm going to close out this episode 2 of the Highly Flavored Podcast on that note. Guys, every Tuesday we will be dropping the audio. I will try to get the visuals out every Tuesday, but if not, the visuals will come out on Wednesday. So this podcast will be posted up tonight, and we're going to get it rocking, man. So thanks everybody for tuning in on the Facebook Live. Thanks for everybody that's tuned in on the IG Live. Thanks for everybody who's going to listen on SoundCloud. Thanks to everybody who is going to be viewing this on YouTube. I appreciate you. This is Highly Flavored Podcast, episode 2, and I am out of here, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm gone.